So purpose of this workshop, it's demand management. It started more than a year ago with Salinas Valley Basin GSA stepping into this topic. It is not an easy one. It is not a popular one, but we did not shy away from that, and I'm inviting you to lean further into that as we explore what it means and what it means in general and what it means for this region. So there was prior discussion by the board and the general manager at the time, Donna Myers, of hiring a facilitator. Sac State, Dave Seppos is the person who's been leading this effort for the agency. And what he did is had interviews with stakeholders, many of them. And what he learned is two things: that there are as many opinions about demand management as there were people he talked to, and that the agency is not ready to implement demand management in any shape or form. What is needed is more the dialogue amongst the stakeholders in the community and learning of what demand management is, what it could be, what are the tools. So that's what we seek to do with those workshops. There are numerous things that are being done. There are many things that have been done. So as you see in your agenda, we have sections going back and highlighting what is already being done in the community and by others. Also, what are potential tools for us to use in the future. It is not to say that the agency will implement any of them. That is going to come back to sub-basin implementation committees, because one size does not fit all, and it needs to be decided locally what is an appropriate measures to be used, if demand management should be used at all, and in what shape, and when, under what circumstances. So the purpose of these 5 workshops is to change and broaden the conversation and to inform the future work that is going to be undertaken by the agency. So just more logistics. We will have presentations. They're about 15, 20 minutes each. If you could hold the questions to the end. You have cards on the table. Either write them down. We have slide numbers. If it's a question about specific slide, it may be helpful for you to note that down so we can go back to that. We will take questions also verbally. We're going to run the mic around for you, so be patient when you raise your hand. We want to get the mic to you mainly for the recording purposes. And I think we are now moving on from the introduction that typically was done by Dave to me welcoming you. And I want to kind of take you back a little bit to a little journey. The workshops are about demand management. I want to go to one thing that is common to all of us and to this workshop, and is a hero of today's workshop, and all of them is water. So I'm taking you back to 1980s. I'm taking back to Nordic country, where I'm from, Estonia. It's as you can imagine, by being up north, we have 4 seasons. We do have ag, and ag is very seasonal. The staple of our ag is potatoes, but also Estonia is known for dairy. That means cattle, that means hay. The haymaking is a very short season, end of June, July. And the way how big ag was structured in 1980s, for those who don't know, Estonia was part of USSR at that time. It was all big collective farms. Who do they use for very seasonal work? Who is available in June and July? Students. So a lot of high schoolers were employed, hired by collective farms to make hay. It was semi-manual labor, so the hay bales were made by machines, but to get them onto trucks and get them back into the barn, that was child labor. We got paid very well. So it was popular activity for all of us to do in summer. It was fun, we got paid well. We lived in a farmhouse. It was about 20, 30, groups of 20, 30 of us. So one thing when you come home from lifting hay bales the whole day, you're sweaty, you're hot, you're dirty. What was the most popular place in that farmhouse? There was no running water. We had a well, and it was a hand pump. So the line that formed by 15, 16-year-old kids was at the well. That was the most precious thing that everybody wanted, water, cold water. It's a very different meaning that Michael Phelps, who is one of the most decorated swimmers, the relationship what he has and what he uses water for. I started Ag Knowledge program. It's been 2 months now, 2 sessions we've had. Last Friday, when we went and learned about history of Salinas Valley, we learned it was a desert. And what made it a valley was water and irrigation. What made iceberg lettuce to be iceberg lettuce is being able to take that water and make it into ice, to transport that. I watched Survivor TV show. They don't give people rice for free, they have to earn it. They give people water for free. The teams that operate Hoover Dam, what is the meaning of water for them? Panama Canal, when big container ships are stuck there. Why are they stuck? There's not enough water. So it's everywhere. It has a very different meaning to any of us, to all of us. It's a commodity because it has price, it has value, it has cost. It's regulated. It needs infrastructure to move it around. At the same time, it's a natural resource. And it's a very, very interesting and special natural resource. We all use it, but there is no less of it today in the world than there was 10 years ago, 100 years ago, 10,000 years ago, the same amount of water. Is it in the same place? Is it in the place where people need it? It's not. But it's the same water. One thing, I started with myself and my personal connection to water. When I moved to the United States, I was homesick. One thing that gave me peace and solace was to go to the ocean and look at it, because somehow that water connected me with people back home. So that water molecule, I could imagine in my head, actually travels from here and to the place that my friends and family were. So knowing that water is all of that, it needs to be managed. And it has been managed, but it has been managed for centuries by people that have their own domains. So it's been managed in silos, by and large, because that was appropriate then. It's not appropriate to do that the same way anymore, because it is a shared resource, and we all rely on that. There needs to be holistic management of water. So that's how Salinas Valley Basin GSA comes to play. In Monterey County, there's many agencies that deal with managing water, but they all have their own boundaries that do not fit the boundaries of our shared water source. So these agencies here, to help all of you and help those agencies to have a more holistic, more strategic way of looking at how to manage this precious resource. So we are a convener. We're not going to reinvent the wheel. We're going to take your collective ideas and see how we can find a common denominator. We're a collaborator. Maybe we're going to be a clearinghouse of projects because it's going to be cheaper and more effective and more efficient to do projects that have many benefits instead of just benefiting a narrow group of people or one area. So that's Salinas Valley Basin GSA. That's why we're here. We're here to stay. We're a small agency, and we're a wonderful board of directors, many committees we rely on, and we need all of you to be working with us.